I'm Dixie Ann Halage, the Acquisitions Editor of S&H Publishing. Welcome to our new author interviews. So now we are talking today with Maureen Milliken, who has just written the second of her mystery series, the Bernie O'Day mystery series. So, Maureen, tell us, why did you decide to write mysteries?
Well, I'm not so sure if I decided to or if the fates decided for me. I know that's sounds kind of trite, but it's true. I always wanted to be a writer, and I don't ever remember deciding I wanted to be a writer. I just felt I was a writer, and I've always liked mysteries. And I think the popular feeling about why people like mysteries is because things get wrapped up at the end. Life is complicated, but mysteries are as complicated as they are. Everything gets wrapped up, and there's usually a happy ending, and questions get answered. And I feel that that's part of it. But I always felt, for me, it was, I'm very interested in people and why they do what they do and how people relate to each other, people's backstory, the things that make people who they are. And I think all genres concentrate on character in one way or another. I think that no genre really delves into character the way mysteries do, because just by their nature, something really bad happened and somebody did it. And why do people do really bad things? There's a lot of reasons, and that's basically what mysteries are about.
One of the reasons you very seldom see is because they're bad people.
Right.
They're not.
That's true. That's true. That and obviously one of the things about mysteries is you have a lot of red herrings or people who you think may have done it, but end up not doing it. And everybody isn't some horrible evil person. And if you do have a horrible evil person and they're the ones who did it, it's not much of a mystery. So mysteries explore that part of human character that I think people are drawn to, and also a little repulsed by, and also a little relieved by. I would never kill someone, so I can be reassured by reading this book that no matter what reason this person had for killing somebody, I wouldn't do that. So I think it's a lot of those things, but I think mostly it's how character is explored, and how is it explained that somebody did one of the most horrible things you can do as a person? How do you explain it? And how does that come out? And I think it's my interest in people and that type of thing that just has me, as a reader and a writer, interested in mysteries.
Wow. So what makes your books unique? Why are your mysteries different from the gazillion other mysteries on the shelf?
Well, I'd like to think they are. I think most writers feel that theirs are unique. But in the technical aspects of it, there's setting. Mine are set in Maine, and I know a lot of mysteries are set in Maine. You're not going to find any lobsters. Well, you might find lobsters if somebody goes to a restaurant. You're not going to find any lighthouses or waves crashing on the coastal rocks. It's in the very deep, remote west central mountains of Maine. I feel very strongly about Maine being real and not a cartoon character that, people make assumptions. We do have one of the lowest murder rates in the country. There's about 20 to 25 murders a year in Maine. Many more in fiction and mystery fiction, but and so that makes Maine seem like kind of a benign place. But in reality, there are a lot of facets. It's a deep, dark place with a lot of remote areas, a lot of dangerous areas, and a lot of people who are out of the mainstream. And it's very important to me that Maine is portrayed in an affectionate but realistic way. I also am a third-generation newspaper editor, and I've been a journalist at daily newspapers in New England for 33 years. And it's also important to me that journalism, which I love, is portrayed correctly. I get annoyed in in novels when journalists are caricatures or and not portrayed realistically. A lot of journalism is really boring, and obviously in mystery fiction there are things that happen that aren't going to happen in real life. My books, I think there's a lot of humor. I think there's a lot of humor in how people relate to each other in normal life, and you have to be able to laugh at things. But character is very important to me, and I've been a little surprised. There are people who have read my book who tell me they've never read mysteries, or people who wouldn't you expect to be a normal mystery reader. People who don't even like fiction, and they said, I don't like mysteries, but I read your book and I really, really enjoyed it. And I have to believe it's because of the focus on character, and I also feel that I bring my voice to the books. There are truths in life that I like to look at, the things we assume about the people in power, the things we assume about the people in charge, the things we assume about crimes that are committed, and kind of explore the variations on that and how there are a lot of gray areas. So there's a lot of levels to the uniqueness of my books, but it all kind of comes together in this what I hope is an entertaining and suspenseful, humorous way that is an enjoyable read for people.
I think your characters are definitely unique.
Yeah.
And very well drawn.
It was very important to me it was very important to me when I started writing to have characters that people could care about and relate to, because when I read a book, that's what I want. I want to feel like the real people who I care about, and I didn't want them to be trite or superficial. I wanted the things they do to be explained by who they were, not necessarily by circumstances. And I also feel that that plot is what characters do. That when you come right down to it, the plot of a book is driven by characters and their behavior. And to me, readers have to buy into that behavior, even though in mysteries you have circumstances that just aren't going to happen in real life. But you have to sell it to readers, and one of the ways you do is by having characters who readers care about and who are willing to go along on the ride with, no matter how far out what may be happening is, because far out things happen in mysteries, because most of us live kind of mundane lives that don't involve
right. Far out things happen in real life, but
right. Yeah.
in real life they happen too, but usually not as close together as they do in books.
That's true. Yes, that's true.
So, what's the best thing about being a published mystery writer?
Well, I would say the best thing is something that it never even occurred to me until I became one. I've wanted to be a writer since I was a child, as I mentioned earlier. I remember I was in some summer arts program when I was 9, and you had to write down what you wanted to be when you grew up, and I wrote author. And I don't even think I knew what it was really at the time. But the most really best satisfying thing is having people who aren't related to me, who aren't my mother, who inexplicably just loves everything I do, tell me how much they enjoyed reading my book. And I don't know how it never occurred to me that would happen, but it didn't. But you as a writer, you really put your heart and soul into the book. You have things you want to say, and you hope people will understand it. You hope people will get it, and you hope people will like it.
So is there another Bernie O'Day mystery?
Oh yes, there is. I think there are a lot, because Bernie and my co-protagonist, I guess I have to call him Pete, the police chief, and all the people in Redimere just keep doing things, and I'd like them to stop for a few minutes so I can take a breather, but they won't, and they're just doing things in my head, and I am working on the third book, and I see several more coming after that. I don't see things stopping, because they're like writing chose me, and like mystery novels chose me, these characters and this town chose me. And is nutty as this may seem, it's a place that exists, even if it just exists in my head and things are happening there, and I got to catch up with them and get it all down on paper.
Well, I look forward to the next one.
Thank you.
And
Thanks.
everyone after that. So thank you so much for your time and for talking to us today.
Well, thanks for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Okay, bye.